You went to a wedding. A random uncle comes to you and asks you, "Hey, what do you do?" And you'll be like, "I'm a UX designer." And probably he'll say, "Hey, all that is fine, but tomorrow, as time goes on and as technology improves, what will you do?" Tomorrow it'll be like, "Hey computer, please make this screen for this requirement," and a computer can probably make a screen. What will you do? Will your job be lost? And probably you'll be thinking, "Oh no, what can I do now? Will my job be lost? I have learned so much, all this for nothing. What do I do?" Well, let's explore how much of this is true, how much of this is not true. What will happen tomorrow if technology advances? Will UX designers' jobs go away? Or is there a way that we can secure our future as UX designers even if technology advances? For that, let's get started into the video. Let us first talk about what is it that technology can actually replace. Let us start with an example. Imagine you are a painter. You are given a task of going and painting an ad on a wall. For that, you'll probably go with a set of tools, with some brushes, paints and all these things. You go to the wall and you'll actually go and paint the ad. You'll probably write all the text which is required. You will paint the images which are required and probably make a beautiful ad on the wall. And you have been doing this for a long time. But what happens is, after some time, nobody has this requirement of you painting on the wall because the whole technology has changed. You don't require a person to actually go and paint an ad on the wall. You can just take a digital printout and just use it on a wall. What will happen to you? Your job is now no longer existent. Your skill is not required. Your job is gone. And then you might be like, "Oh, is UX also like this? Will my job also be gone?" Don't worry yet, just follow with me. Let's go and translate this into a similar example of a digital product. Let's say you are asked to go and build an online course platform. In that, let us say you have to design for this video watching screen. What will you probably do? You'll use a tool, let's say like Figma or probably Adobe XD. Make a layout for the screen and maybe design for all the buttons which are required over there, all the fonts which are required over there, the colors, the icons and all the stuff which is required over there. You will actually go and build that screen. Now, if you're a person who identifies only as being able to do this, imagine what will happen if tomorrow Figma or Adobe XD are no longer used to do this activity. Imagine what will happen if the viewing medium itself changes. If you're no longer watching videos on a 2D interface, what if there is virtual reality or mixed reality where you're watching videos in a completely different platform? You might be like, "Hey Anudeep, Figma, Adobe XD and all, I don't think they'll be replaced." Let me tell you one thing. Not a long ago, people used to use Photoshop and Illustrator for actually going and making screens for UX design. But today, Figma and Adobe XD and all these software have replaced it. In the same manner, tomorrow, these software tools also will be replaced. I know, now you'll be like, "Hey Anudeep, you have totally convinced me that as a UX designer, my job is definitely going to go away. I don't know what else to do." Don't worry, that's what we're getting into. Let me tell you something. Even from the examples which we have seen till now, there are some things which technology cannot replace. Let us go through these examples and understand these things. Let's start with the first example which we discussed. The person who was given the job of painting an ad on the wall. If you observe here, there was someone who actually strategized what kind of ad should be painted on the wall. What communication should it have so that people can effectively understand what is being said over there? They also decided what kind of visual should the ad go with, what kind of text. All these things were decided before even going and doing the exact painting job on the wall. Now imagine if this person also participated in these activities and went and picked those appropriate tools to be able to successfully go and paint the ad on the wall. Imagine even if tomorrow the medium changes, the paint changes, the walls change, or even if it's a digital ad, he can still go and strategize how the ad should be communicated to the people whom it is meant for. So in the same way, let's also get back to the next example which we also talked about, the online course platform. Let's say you had to build the experience for the video player. Instead of you working only on what kind of colors to choose over there, what buttons, what fonts, if you also solve these things like understanding who the player is for, how would people really understand all the icons which are present over there? Would people really understand how to speed up the clip? Would people understand how is it that they can go from one part of the clip to other part of the clip? Is the requirement of speed even there for the users of that platform? In what all ways is this video consumed? In what all platforms is this video consumed? Should the UX be the same if it is consumed from mobile devices? Should the UX be the same if it is consumed from desktop devices? Are there any other platforms which are used here? And what should be the player experience if they're actually watching the video for the first time? What should be the experience if they're only referring to important points in that video? Let's say you are the person who is building this experience with whatever tools which are available to you, Adobe XD or Figma, but solving for all these problems, you will use whatever tool it takes, whatever technology which comes tomorrow or whatever medium it is to go and solve all these for the users which you are building. And by now you must have realized the things which I described until now can only be done by a human. Yes, thinking about all these things, understanding about how humans are behaving and taking decisions can only be done by a human. Technology cannot do this. Technology can go and build better tools. Technology can actually go and build better mediums, but technology cannot empathize with people. So to empathize with people, understand their problems and solve their problems and impact businesses through whatever problems you are solving, you will go and use whatever tools and mediums and build an experience using those. But let me tell you one thing, don't misunderstand this video that, hey, you know what, this guy is telling, don't learn tools, don't learn all those things, just learn about how to strategize. No, that is not what I'm saying. In both the examples I have given, it is also important that you have built the experience with the tools which are available at that particular time. So now you will be like, hey Anudeep, this is very great, but can you please summarize what is it that as a process I can follow as a UX designer so that my job always stays? Let me simplify that for you. This is nothing but design thinking. You have to practice the design thinking process and apply it as a UX designer to make sure that your job always stays in place. Because design thinking doesn't start with you going and getting your ideas or you going and building those prototypes, but design thinking starts with empathize, which means you'll have to put a conscious effort in understanding the people whom you are building this experience for. And then has define, which means you go and define all the problems which you have identified from understanding people. And that is when you go and ideate to solve all the problems that you have identified. And then you build these prototypes, you build your screens and all these things so that again you can go back to the users and test if these experiences are really working out for them or not. And let me tell you, the entire UX design process is built on this design thinking process. And if I even zoom back further, this whole process is built on this one single line. I am not the user. I do not know about what the user needs. So therefore, let me experiment and find out what works for the users. To understand more about design thinking and how each parts of design thinking can relate to the actual processes which are followed in UX design, please check out my other content in multiple channels which I am posting. And the reason why I am emphasizing so much on this is because this process can be done only by a human and technology can never replace this whole thing. And therefore, it is very important for you as UX designer today to go understand this design thinking process and practice it so that your job always stays. And it's not just about your job staying, it's about you creating value and impacting businesses, whatever the tools may be or whatever the platforms may be. And now probably you are like, hey Anudeep, all this is so awesome. Is there any way that I can be mentored by you about all this process and become this valuable so that my job will never be lost? Yes, if you're looking for my mentorship where you can learn the UX design process in a step-by-step manner and always stay relevant and keep learning and make sure that your job is not lost even if technology advances, if you're looking for that, go and check the description where I have all the relevant links for this. And I'm sure when you have heard this video, you must be bubbling with a lot of doubts. Yes, go and comment your doubts on this video and I will personally answer your doubts replying to your comments. I'll probably also make new videos with whatever questions you are asking in the comments so that it can help you. And if I have to continue keeping effort in giving you this knowledge, I need a small effort from you. Nothing but going and subscribing to my channel, going and hitting that like, and most importantly, sharing this video with other people whom you think will also be benefited by hearing to this. If you have enjoyed this video, why do you want to miss out on multiple other videos in my channel where you can also similarly enjoy and learn? So see you again in the next video. Thank you and student for life.